This is a Holz-Her Sprint 1310-1 automatic edge bander. This model is very unique in the fact that it uses a glue puck in lieu of a glue pot. Over to the dashboard of this machine, we are using a 0.018 inch coil on a piece of 5/8 thermofused white melamine material. That's what we're about to do. So right now our machine is already heated, and here are the units at which is engaged with the recipe called program number 3, 0.5 millimeter PVC. And what this means is we've got the heater that's on, the coil feed advance track that's on. We are not utilizing a wood stick feed option. That would be doable on this machine, but that's not what our recipe is right now. We've got the coil dispenser, pressure rollers, front back trim. We do not have a tilting trim on this machine. We are utilizing the top and bottom trim, the radius glue scrapers, the buffing wheel, and these would be 2 additional units that are not on this particular machine. So we're going to hit the go button. The machine's going to run through a cycle from beginning to end, ensuring that every unit is operating, and when that is ready to go, we'll get a white indicator light right here that tells us that we're ready to go. So now the machine is ready for work. The machine is set up for 3/4 panel thickness right now, and Matt is going to change the machine to a 5/8 panel thickness right now. So that starts, he's going to go ahead and loosen up the panel thickness. Like, there's all these rollers down in here, okay, so that is like the clamping mechanism, and then via a dial here he's going to change that right about 15.9 millimeters, and he's going to go ahead and just hand tight lock that baby in there, and then he's going to change the glue height. There's like a trowel mechanism down in there, and there's a dial here, and what we like to do is we like to crank that material up and then run like a test piece. Watch the glue ooze out the top just a hair, and then dial that thing down to fit. So we're going to start a little bit heavy, and we're going to run a piece of scrap through that we just run over and over. And Matt is looking at how much glue oozes out the top, and it's just like a drop every 12 inches or so. And he's going to use that piece and dial it in. So every time we like to do this when we change the material, I always think that there's going to be like an air bubble or something in the glue mechanism, but there's really not. So again, that's just like a 3-footer that we like to burn. And now Matt's going to go ahead and run just a 5/8 piece of particle board. It does seem to give a little bit better finish on, is it the bottom? That's a little bit cleaner?
Yep.
So there's an indicator right here that tells us that when the panel gets there, it's ready for the next sheet. So this is actually how this machine is going to be used. And about as fast as you can walk down and put it in again, the machine's ready for work. So this is what this looks like. Yep, right there, boom, ready to go. You can do this with 3 panels. If you're doing like a single operation, obviously, panel 1 is done with one side, panel 2 gets the first side as it's going through, panel 1's unloaded, panel 3 is loaded. So that's the kind of thing that we're looking at there. So let's go ahead and look at a part as close as what we are able. This is 0.018 inch material, and yeah, so there's a little bit of glue excess there. Maybe that could be dialed in just it's possible a little bit better, either a scraper or the glue height, but we've got a tiny radius, and again, this is 0.5 mil material, 0.018 inch, and you can see the nice radius to the touch there that it gives. So that's our Holz-Her Sprint 1310-1. Original owner in its original location since day one. This is a 2003 model, according to this tag. 3-phase. I got a 20 amp service going to it, and somewhat undersized dust collection going to this machine. But here's our little bird cage to catch the curly cues. We just take this plexiglass off, and that's how we clean that out. We are gated, so this whole contraption would stay with the machine. Coming around to the business end, Matt's going to disconnect the port that catches the curly cues. It's a spot where the machine likes to get a little bit clogged up there. So here's the port where the curtain, and you can even see maybe one, that one's clean right now, but they like to get hung up in there. And that's about the only reason that we need to open this hood, aside from changing blades. So front and back trimmer mechanisms. And then this would be how much the copy wheel rides against the panel. So loosening up this cam and literally physically moving this needle by these tiny little increments, and each one of those increments is probably a fifth or a tenth of a millimeter. It's a very fine adjustment. It works really sweet. And then these motors are high-speed electrical motors. This whole thing dismounts with a cam lever. I think it's this one right here, and this entire motor sits on this post, and there's an onboard tool to change out cutters. It's super easy. So overall condition of the machine is at the top of its peers. Available now under power. Will not be hooked up to dust collection when the new machine gets here in Farmington, Minnesota.